listening to Package Your Genius, a conversation designed to give you clarity on your calling and serve as a catalyst for your career. I'm your host, Amanda Miller Littlejohn. Why is this daily podcast challenge the best thing I've ever done? I'm having so much fun. So it is daytime. I promised I would not record late at night again because I don't think my brain works as well. So I wanted to come on here real quick and talk about something I have been, I guess a better way to say it is it's been coming up in conversation over the last couple of days. And so whenever I see something once or twice, I'm like, okay, that is something I need to pay attention to. And that is the idea that when you offer yourself and skills and genius up for free to friends and colleagues, somehow we're reinforcing the myth that our skills are not good enough to pay for. So this kind of came to me over a conversation with a friend who I was encouraging to start selling her services on the side. She has a full-time job, but she also has, a way that she can consult with external parties that are not at all in conflict with the people she serves at her day job. And, she's in a position to where she wants to earn more money and is just a really amazing professional and has the skill to make this happen. And so I was telling her, you should definitely look at this thing. What about packaging it this way? What about targeting this audience? What about charging this much? And even the thought of charging the numbers that I was quoting almost seemed frightening to her and unrealistic and just like blew her mind a little bit. And she said, I don't really know why people would want to pay that much for what I'm doing. And so I reminded her of how she's helped me and she's helped friends of ours. And, she's just done amazing things in her personal life with the people that she supports, not to mention all the great work she's doing at her job. And when I mentioned how much she'd helped me and how much she'd helped other people in our circle, she said, oh, well, that's just because I love you. And, when you share things with me, I'm going to give you advice or I'm going to tell you what I think. And I said, but you're giving me advice and telling me what you think based on your professional training, based on who you have studied to become. Like the things you tell me versus the things someone else might tell me are completely different. And the both of you may love me just the same, but you are working with a whole different set of information, knowledge, experiences. And it's worth something, even though you're not charging me, you're not sending me an invoice after we talk. Please believe that whenever you share your heart and your genius with me, it's worth so very much. And I think there was a disconnect there for her because when you are not used to charging people outside of, the money that you get on your paycheck every 2 weeks, but you are still serving people outside of those people you serve in your day job, you can tell yourself that the work you're doing outside of work is not worth anything. It's not of any value just because you haven't charged yet. But those two things are not directly correlated. Just because you have not charged does not mean you cannot charge. Just because you have not charged doesn't mean what you're offering is worthless. Just because you haven't set a price doesn't mean, the price is zero. You're simply delivering your genius for free. So the second time that this same idea came up was on a discovery session today. And I talked to this brilliant woman who seemed extremely clear about the value she offers the world and what she has to share and how she can make a difference, make an impact, because she's ready to do a career pivot. Again, she's not necessarily, well, I think she did mention she wanted to earn more, but also she's bored at work. And so she wants more challenging work. And so she was talking about the things that she does outside of work that do challenge her and do excite her and do stretch her and make her feel alive and energized. She mentioned, a few colleagues who have reached out to her for support with her talents in crafting an elevator pitch or reviewing a resume or getting ready to talk about your services. It's really similarly to the work that I do. And when I said to her, well, it sounds like you're super clear on what you have to offer. Now we just need to create a plan on how do you articulate that to the world? And then how do you get in front of more people, new people, people you don't work with, people you don't know? And she's like, well, okay, I do know what I can do, but I kind of just feel like, is that it? Like, I haven't charged people for that. I've never been paid for that. So I don't even know where I would start with that. And it's sounds to me like a similar block around when you're used to offering your genius to friends and family. You just create this block in your mind around the monetary value of the work you're providing. Like, there is a value exchange happening there, even if you're not receiving compensation in the form of, a PayPal deposit or a Cash App infusion. You are giving value, and however you're getting that value back or you're being compensated, maybe it's just the appreciation or the satisfaction of knowing you helped someone you care about. Like, that's the compensation. But that doesn't mean for people you do not know personally, you cannot create those similar transformations and provide that similar value for a price. And so if you were looking at yourself, if you're standing outside yourself, if you were someone you loved, right? Like, if you see yourself as a friend and your friend is doing all the things that you do, providing all the services, giving advice, coaching people, providing strategy, mocking up websites, taking photos, right? Like, whatever it is that you do for free for your friends and your family, if you had a friend or a family member who was doing all of those things for free, how would you talk to them? How would you coach them? What would you tell them they needed to do? They needed to charge. They needed to make happen to bring this project, this passion project, this service to life. And that's another thing, the whole idea of a hobby or passion project. A lot of you guys are calling things hobbies and passion projects when they're actually just pro bono businesses. And what I mean by that is, my hobby or passion project may be gardening or serving young girls, and maybe reviving my journaling project, helping teach middle schoolers how to journal and helping middle schoolers unleash their stories. That's a passion project, right? Like, I'm not trying to get paid from that. That's just something that makes me feel good. It's something I enjoy. It's a way I can use my talents in service to other people while having fun and feeling like I'm giving back and creating an impact. It's not me providing personal brand coaching for free and then saying, well, it's my hobby, just because I'm too afraid to charge, or I haven't figured out what to charge, or I haven't figured out how to set up the payments to charge. Like, you guys are providing business services, like real things that cost money in the real world. Like, if this were a stranger coming up to you, asking you to sit down with them and help them rewrite their resume or craft their elevator pitch or think through their vacation or, map out school planning for the next school year for their kids, you would come up with a number and a price that would make it worth your while to sit there with that stranger and provide the value you provide. So don't allow yourself to buy into the cop-out of, this is a hobby, this is a passion project, this is just my ministry, this is just what I do. When people are receiving value on the other side, that's worth a lot of money. You're saving them time. You're saving them the headache of indecision. You are helping them land better jobs. You're helping them get more clients through your marketing expertise, right? Like, you guys are doing the most, but not charging for it and then calling it love or calling it a hobby. So think about what you're out here offering for free. And then if that were a friend, a family member, someone you cared about, someone that you're very protective of, how about that? Someone you're super protective of, and they were doing all the things that you do for free that you know people are like having their lives changed off of. Like, they are making more money. They are, especially when there's a monetary benefit on the other side. So someone gets a new job, they start making more money, they land clients, they start selling more of their t-shirts or whatever it is that you're helping them to do. If this were a friend, someone you care about, someone you're very protective of, who was giving away their genius, and you felt like the world was taking advantage of them, not to say that the people in your life are taking advantage of you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to help you get to the point where you can see that you are providing value, and this is likely something you can go ahead and start charging for now. You are already in business. It's just a pro bono business that you are not being paid for. And so if you were doing all the things, or this person you care about was doing all the things you're doing now, what would you tell them? How would you tell them to package their service? What would you tell them to charge? How would you tell them to deliver it in a way that is mindful of them, their time, their energy, and is not them just giving everything away to seem generous, or just because you're afraid to have someone say they didn't get their money's worth, right? Just something to ponder if you find yourself really making a difference in people's lives for free, and you're struggling with making that leap and kind of making that connection to paid work. I hope this was helpful to you today. Please share this with someone who needs it. I'm having so much fun with this. I've got so many ideas. Now, isn't this crazy? Like, when I'm podcasting weekly, it seems like I can't think of anything, or I'm like, oh my God, what will I do? What will I talk about this week? And sometimes I think it's because I have to focus and narrow down the thing, or, you know, put a few different topics together, or just decide like, what is the message for the week? But this whole daily piece, it's like, the content is there, y'all. It is out here. Life is happening. And, what I'm finding even more fascinating is being able to share a message every day helps me not forget the things that I mean to share when I'm like, oh, this will be great for the podcast next week, or this will be great for a future episode. And then half the time I'll forget the brilliant insight that I had. And so now I can just kind of share things to you as I get them. Maybe it's because I'm getting old and I can't remember things anymore. I do write things down, but I just can't retain it like I used to. So anywho, I will see you tomorrow with a fresh episode back in your ear. Well, I can't say same time, same place. Same place. I don't know what time it'll be. But hopefully it will be before late evening when my brain shuts down. Hit me up on social media. Let me know you're listening, and if you're enjoying the series and the episode, and if you have ideas for episodes or questions you want me to answer, I'm happy to do that too. All right. See you next time.